All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Keith Barnacle, calling to order the Agriculture Commission for the City of Greenfield. There's the four members of the commission here in person in City Hall, and no one is recording here present or recording the meeting. Is that correct? Besides us? Yep, besides the city.
Correct.
And this is the first meeting and convening of this commission in quite some time. So I'm going to open up to folks here for discussion on organization. And then we'll kind of hand over the reins to the leadership of the commission. So I'll open up the floor for a discussion on leadership and organization for the commission.
Not me. For leadership?
Yeah, someone can make a nomination.
We're going to nominate a chair.
We need a chair.
Okay.
Probably need a secretary, right?
Yeah, you
Or
could.
do you want somebody to take minutes?
I'm actually gonna, for the first one tonight, I promise I'm gonna take minutes and notes tonight, which I'll
Okay.
share with you, with folks,
Okay.
whoever the chairperson is.
I have this.
Because I know it's a lot to just come to the first meeting
Yeah.
and so I'll do that tonight. But yeah, I think it wouldn't hurt, I think that would probably be the next best office position for the commission. It would be chair and secretary.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty used to being secretary since I sit around and take notes all the time. I don't mind being secretary. I clerk often.
Okay.
Yeah, I
I could
clerk.
probably do a better job than I would on that.
I clear, I write it all down and then I go home and make sense of it and I put it in a document that I can send out to whomever may need it. So I'm used to doing that. We need a chair. I don't know what the responsibilities of a chair would be.
When I was chair, I think I set up the meeting and arranged to get the room open. That was, I think, before we had somebody coming in here
Yeah.
and made sure it got posted.
Mm-hmm.
What else? And then just oversee the meeting.
Set the agenda. I think would be a big part.
Yeah, set the agenda.
Just on the agenda and those administrative pieces, yeah, making sure things get posted in time.
Yeah. So
those kind
would
of
one
things.
of you lovely gentlemen like to do that?
I'm totally new to this. I need to get my feet underneath me before
No,
I.
I make it anymore.
So there's four of us and there's two positions that need to be filled. And I'm willing to do, this stuff and help with.
My problem right now is that my husband had a stroke a month ago. And so we're dealing with all the aftermath of that. And
Yeah.
the stupidity of the healthcare system in this country and top of my other jobs. I'm not sure
just- yeah.
I'm the
Yeah.
right person to do it.
Yeah. So what have I done? I've done an agenda for the first meeting. I've been in touch with people
I think you would be in a good.
and I don't see.
I'll be in a leadership role and I'll help out.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
I know the animal control officer has been invited to come here and I told him that, we had to postpone it. So if he doesn't come, I'll give him a call. So I'll just start taking my notes.
Gentleman that, what's his name?
The animal control officer. I can never remember his name.
Is he Moldovan? Is he?
He's from Romania.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then he's related to the people that live a couple of houses down from us.
he's great. I've
Yeah, he
had,
really is nice.
I've had some,
Yeah.
some goings on with him.
I have.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna just
So what's his
take
name,
notes the way I
by the way?
usually do.
By the way, what's his name?
Do you know the animal control officer name?
Oh,
Yeah, have you got that? That would be good. I could not just. I'm gonna call the secretary the clerk, because I always call it clerk. And maybe somebody else would like to clerk, I don't know.
We had him in here before, but I don't know.
I could call him up
yeah, the Kayla.
and ask.
I'm just curious. Thought it was.
Yeah, I
You
was.
guys were talking about it.
I
figured that-
probably should have called and reminded him. Or he might be out on an emergency too.
Yeah, I have this, I think it's Kalen is his first name.
All right, number one, I need to call him.
Are you, and first, before we move on, are you moving on to the agenda or are we?
Well, since we do need to handle the leadership, I
Yeah.
will go ahead and nominate Elizabeth as head of the commission.
I second.
I knew you would. We got
I'm really good at seconding.
All right, what about secretary? Will,
Well, I guess we have to vote too, so
yes, yeah,
Your first name's Dave.
Greg,
Great.
Greg.
that's Dave, I'm Greg.
All right, so let's,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Is it unanimous?
okay.
Now, since you're the head,
Now that I'm the chair of the commission, the chair, I feel pretty good here.
how long is the term, by the way?
I think
Is
it's,
there a term?
I'm on for 4 years. They have the terms staggered.
Yeah.
Right. And the reason they do, Janine explained to me, was that so that not all of them expire
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
same time.
Yeah.
So that- And I guess because I was, whatever, the first letter of intent that they read, they gave me 4 years.
Maybe they don't want to
So
put me on for.
I should have been more
that's-
specific in my wording. How long is the term of chair for a commission?
Yeah, is there a difference between how they do that? That's a good question.
Great question. Traditionally in the city, they do often reorganize on an annual basis. So that's something
Okay.
that could be determined.
That's what I thought. I was just
City council.
getting it out here so that we all hear
Okay.
it. So
Yeah.
I didn't know for certain, so that's why I asked the question.
Yeah. It looks like, yeah, Elizabeth and Greg, you're up for is 3 years. David's is up in 2025 and Denise is up in 2026. So that's kind of staggering.
Okay, staggered, yeah.
Yeah. So there's not an alternative.
So the question that Greg had is, oh, good, now we've nominated you for chair. How long does
Well,
that?
it seems
position-
like
Well, he just said an annual.
annual, so we need to revisit and.
Okay, so every annual.
So in other words,
Good,
you
got
can't
it.
resign
So
for another
let's
year.
put a little asterisk there. This is kind of an interesting convening. Usually this happens on the calendar year. So the reorg meetings would happen in January. And the terms, for example, end on the 31st of December. So you may want to reorganize again in.
And get us in
Yeah.
sync with the rest of the city, yeah.
Yep, or you may not. So yeah, just an asterisk there. That's a
Okay.
possibility.
This is-
Oh, it just may be a member of the public who's.
Watching.
Oh,
Okay, so annually.
Yep.
It's just that question. And so clerking, I don't know about clerking. I'm sitting here taking my notes as I have been doing for years.
Yeah, there would be clerking would entail taking the official minutes for each meeting.
Yeah,
And then there is some follow-up with the city or the chair can handle this as well. To follow up the city to make sure we get the minutes posted.
Yeah.
And all that information posted in a timely manner to ensure that there's transparency in the information that is being discussed and available to folks who want to see it.
Yeah.
So that's what a big piece of that is.
yeah. So I'm just going to take notes. Is there anyone here who would like to be the clerk? No, not Denise. No, not Dave.
I guess I will be.
Okay. Good, okay.
I nominate you to be the clerk.
Okay.
All right, so now we have a clerk.
We have
Great.
to vote on it.
Yeah, we got to vote. I nominate Greg.
No, I nominate him first.
Okay,
can
so
second.
ahead.
You can second.
I second it.
Okay, now you ask for a vote.
Let's have a vote for Greg to be the clerk.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Huh?
Abstentions?
Great.
Okay. Somehow I can tell you were on a commission before.
No, not really, but I've
All
got a
right, well,
lot
I'm
of
going to throw down
experience
some
with
notes
Robert's
too, and we can
rules
work
of
together.
orders.
And congrats on convening. So, yeah.
Thanks.
Mhm.
So I have a question. I don't know if you're going to be here through this meeting that we have.
Mhm.
I have all of this that we were given, and I had definitely read through it, even though it's a lot.
Mhm.
But there are some things that need to be signed. You could sign them today, or I could come in another day.
Yep.
Okay,
I'm gonna
There's
grab
just
some
one thing
cards
to
so you have
sign.
my contact information. Yeah, there's one thing to sign.
Okay.
I'm happy to do so, yeah.
yeah, and it's somewhere in here.
Yep, yeah.
So
48.
page 48?
Yes, I just gave it to mine.
Oh, okay.
It's on
And thank you for,
this one.
Oh, the open meeting law guide.
and thank you for briefly looking through all that and taking the time to sign. It's important.
Well, it's important, you know?
It is, yeah, you're working on
I mean, you really have to.
21st century government world and there's a lot
Yeah.
of, you're right.
And had I not read the open meeting law, when you called me a month ago, I would have not understood exactly why we had to postpone.
Mhm.
Because I had looked on Monday. It was Monday I had looked, and it wasn't posted. And I thought, oh, they'll post it by 5 o'clock. So I must have been reading part of it,
Mhm.
you know, so
Do you feel that?
then when you-
Signs that.
I think I might have looked the next day and it's like, oh, it's not there. Oh, well, now I'm thinking. But when we talked, it really made me realize this is serious business. We're going to have to postpone for a month.
Yeah,
That's what we ended up doing. It's fine.
yep.
Yeah. So, okay, I don't see the animal control officer here. I was really hoping that he would come. I should have called him to remind him. I did not. So, yeah, so we can get him next time. I'm very interested in how we can help him.
I have a question about the conflict of interest. I did it. We couldn't get a printout on our computer.
Oh, the certificate?
Yeah.
Remember how
Okay.
I got that?
We went, not me, she.
Okay.
She spent about a half hour just trying to get the printout after we did it, and I said, I am not doing it again.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking
I think I got an
about.
email, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, did anyone did you get?
I got an email. I got two, actually.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you my card again and you can reach out to us tomorrow. We can try to figure that out for you. Yeah, we'll try to find it.
Okay, I have this page 48.
Yeah, that's what you.
That's it.
So you fill out the top part and he signs the bottom.
So we all work together here. I mean, I know we have a clerk. I use the word clerk. Correct me if I need a different word. I'm used to using the verb clerking. And chair. But we all worked together. Kind of taking care of things together as we went along.
Before I forget it here, can you just give that back?
I think he takes it.
Oh, I'm
I'm gonna
sorry.
make a couple.
No, I.
All right.
Okay,
I
yeah,
think.
I'll give this
I
to
trust you.
the clerk.
So I'm gonna sign it down here, name of the public body, I don't know that.
Agricultural Commission.
Okay. 124. Just to know that this is done. Do we do this yearly?
I hope not.
It's likely per.
So pretty difficult waiting through that whole thing, considering the president before last in his administration.
There's a lot of commissions, huh?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. I was just trying to think of the number off the top of my head.
40, I think it was, whoa.
47, I think.
Yeah, well, I saw something that was published by the city of Greenfield that said 40 commissions.
Yeah.
Wow. And I thought, holy mackerel. That's it's a lot. I know it's a lot, a big layer cake, but it's kind of really nice. It's nice to have people interested in doing things.
Eat chocolate.
So one of my things I'm gonna do, Greg, is I'm gonna call the animal control officer tomorrow and, you know, invite him to our next meeting. And, you know, he may, again, he may be out on an emergency. I believe he's very overloaded.
I suspect he is.
Yeah, he's got all kinds of stuff on his plate. And it's,
How much does he deal with farm animals as opposed to pets?
Just pets, as I understand it.
he does, as far, what I know, what I realize is that he does, because I've had a talk with him in my driveway, you know, and he does deal with them. I mean, the 5 goats that were loose on, it's hard, that's why I want to talk to him.
Well, I
Because-
had sheep that went over the river and through the woods and ended up over on Route 5 in somebody's barn.
Yeah,
He was the one that, he called me.
yeah, he will,
And I called, because they were gone and I knew they were gone.
because there's nobody else.
And then
or-
we had a rabid raccoon in the pasture.
Yeah.
That's the one that came out.
Yeah. And I would say so, because he's the only one we've got.
Right.
So once we get him here and he can talk to us, then in our heads, we can figure things out.
Right, okay.
Because I'm already getting emails about chickens, questions about chickens,
What kinds of?
you know? It's my friend Monica and her neighbors. But we can go into that later. I think as we have our meeting. And, I'm answering it as I know. I'm gonna give you this. I think this
Okay.
is what we want to do before
I
I
got a
forget.
call yesterday for a swarm of bees.
Did you go out and catch a swarm?
I went out, but the owner of the bee hives that they came from was right across the street. And he got it.
Good.
Oh, okay.
I'd much rather him take his own bees.
Take his own
than
bees.
me go out there
Yeah.
and collect them.
We used to stay in a cabin in Raccoon's Vineyard, first week in September,
Mhm.
and a swarm came into the.
Those are, it's cool.
It was just so cool.
Giving them a
Yeah,
hug.
it is.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I don't know if they ever got them though, and it was so late that they swarmed, they were gonna not make it through the winter.
They're
Yeah.
Extremely gentle.
Oh,
when
yeah.
they're swarming.
You
Oh, yeah,
guys
I
are
was getting
actually-
pictures of them.
You're supposed to sign here on the bottom, David and Denise, actually. My name can be there as a witness, but if you could sign on top of that, that would be great.
So I'm gonna call. You're the clerk, I'm the chair. Here we go. I know when the 5 goats were wandering down around the Rotary by the GCC,
Oh, that's a good.
Jennifer Hoffman, who was health director at the time, she was the one that ended up to go out and gather up the goats. I think she just went out with somebody and went, probably him, and gathered up. The goats were out all the time. I used to go through there when I went to do animal care in the meadows.
Mhm.
And, every once in a while I come back the back, I come home the back way. I don't go. There they are again. They're out grazing. I get out of my car, I pull it over. I count them, how many, 5. But they took those goats to Nevins, I think. And
In the past, the police would monitor the roads if goats, sheep, cows were loose.
yeah,
However,
Horses.
yes, thank you.
I'm not going to say what I think about horses.
You're not? Okay, because we're on Zoom.
Well, I don't.
He doesn't care.
It does involve a meat locker. But the
That's the
police
form.
would monitor the roads
Yeah,
It looks like a fall swarm.
to keep
Yeah.
it.
to public safety.
Unfortunately, the police tended not to know anything about agriculture
Right.
over the years, and they actually became more of a nuisance than they were assistants.
Yep.
And I'll leave you with this one. I had a couple of cows get loose, opened up the barway at the road. The damn policeman kept getting in the barway to show the cows how to get in. And I finally told him to get the blank in his car.
And get out of the way.
Yes, and the cow went right in.
Well, when the sheep were out loose over at this person's house, the animal control officer came.
Mm-hmm.
Nice strap. He was gonna catch them and put them in the trailer for me. I said, well, the dog could put it in.
But yeah, your dogs, yeah, yeah.
Brought my dog.
I just did dog care for a tree climbing coon hound.
Oh, jeez.
I'm telling you, tree climbing coon hound.
Can't keep it
Here
in
I
the
am.
yard.
Wow. That's
We're
all
not
I
gonna
can
get a
say.
ticket out and back tonight, are we?
Nope,
Okay.
Two down here.
not after
So,
hours.
so I guess one of my questions, I kind of tend to go down the agenda here.
Okay,
Only because that's how I do it, so I don't forget things.
okay.
So Denise, okay, so I will take care of calling the animal control officer tomorrow. Denise has requested, you have requested, right to farm signs at just the major road entrances into Greenfield. So talk about that for a minute.
So when we did this years ago, it took several years, and I actually don't remember the details, to get one right to farm sign put up. And I think if it's still there, you come around the rotary and is it still there? Yeah.
That's how I know it's a right to farm town.
It'd be nice if we had some others.
Yes.
And if you can put up these signs that say 25 miles an hour unless otherwise posted, and it's not otherwise posted all over the place, like at the end of Adams Road,
You're right.
you can put in right farm laws.
And where
Okay.
are some places you'd like that to
Well,
happen?
you know, when I drive various places and I enter, say, Warwick or Northfield, they're right there at the town line.
Yeah, so what would you call the major roads, or what would we?
Route 5, the
discuss?
north end, Route 5, the
The
south
south
end.
end.
Route
Okay.
2,
I'm writing
over
this
by
down.
Factory Hollow, and Route 2 coming off the interstate.
I have to write this down.
Okay, but just Route 2 and Route 5 are really the,
Okay, so Route 5 and Route 2, I think we talked about this before.
And
Both,
Route 2 already has one coming in from.
okay, but it doesn't at the
It
Factory
doesn't
Hollow.
have it at that end, and there's nothing over in Gill coming in from there. Route 2,
That would be the.
Factory
Route 2.
Hollow. Oh, right,
Because
okay, right.
Gill, I'm not sure there's a direct spot where we could set it up coming from Gill. It would be the Factory Hollow.
And it may have to actually put it somewhere where it's actually a town road rather than a state road.
That I don't,
yes, that's a good thought. That's a really
but
good
if it's
thought.
on Route 2, that's a state road.
But it's after the rotary here. So it's east of the rotary.
I think that's still a state highway. I don't know who maintains it.
I didn't.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, the next question becomes, if the DPW, if it's local, would have the responsibility.
Right, and that's
And
who
the
we talked.
state would have the responsibility if it's on a state highway.
Right.
Does that make
Okay.
sense?
And we have, if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw a commission in this town that has to do with requesting signs.
I think,
Oh, my God.
No, I'm serious. Because I think I got in touch with, yes.
Talk about
Because you know me and my electric vehicles. So I requested, God, I wish I could get back to that email. I called the police and I asked, I'm sure I asked them, is there anyone I get in touch with? Because the signs on the electric chargers at the library are completely incorrect. They're causing a lot of problem. So I looked it up and there's a sign commission. I wonder if Keith knows about that.
does it go through, the lady, I don't wish I knew her name.
Yeah,
She
Lori.
She used to work at the DPW. Now she's in the mayor's
Yeah,
office.
Janine.
She would be a go-to person because I'm sure coming out of the DPW,
Yeah.
they were responsible for all signs,
They were.
still ours.
So we can get in
Like,
touch.
to get that
Okay.
one sign over there.
She's my neighbor, so
I think I don't think it had much to do with her, in all
no, but
honesty.
she was quick at there was a no parking sign in front of our house.
She's been
It
really,
had been put up there when the Greenfield High School had been remodeled, how many years ago?
Mhm.
And no one ever took it down. It didn't serve any function. And my wife had surgery and parking on the other side of the road was going to be a chore. And I stopped in to see her
Mhm.
and she said, it'll be down tomorrow.
Good for her.
That-
She's been good in my,
I
dealing- my
agree.
short-term dealings with the city. She's been great.
Yeah.
Really great. I mean, getting a phone call after you had called me and she called me and, apologized profusely. And I said, Janine, it's human error. Best we found it.
Yeah.
Then we had the meeting, this is after I read the open meeting law and go, yikes. No, can't do. So, all right, so we're talking about this, Route 5 and Route 2 for your right to farm signs.
I think so. Otherwise, when we start going down Barton Road or some of the other smaller
Right.
roads, I don't know how productive it would.
Yes, yeah, I think if we can get those, I think that'll be good, because I see them in other towns. I mean, I see what I expect to see.
Right.
Okay, so we're gonna go about this. How are we gonna go about this? Giving Janine a call?
Would Marlo Warner from the DPW be a go-to person or not?
Yeah, and you're all of us. I'll give you my contact information. Just reach out.
And Janine
Okay.
would know.
Yeah.
She's,
Dave, do you want to take care of this? Because you're really on a roll here.
sure, I don't.
You and Denise
I don't
work
see that
together.
as a problem. I don't know what the wording we want is, and I'll
I
go
think
along.
it's just it says.
How about copying the sign that's already up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's, I think all it says is Greenfield is a right to farm.
For Greenfield, the right to farm.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah,
Marlo Warner, the DPW man, he would know. I mean, you get him behind it and it's done.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
don't get him
that's
behind it
what
and
we want.
we're pulling teeth a little bit.
So Route 5,
Actually, 2A would be good too, coming in.
what?
2A, want 2A
2A coming in?
from Route 2?
2A coming in from 2, like heading towards Stop and Shop?
There had been a sign up there that said, welcome to Greenfield, Poetry Tower. It's like, you could put a right to farm. I mean, there's a sign post right there.
Well, if you're gonna do
It's right to
there,
farm community. Can't
Yeah.
remember exactly. what.
Yeah.
okay. But the thing you're getting, and I agree with you. logically,
understand
But
where you
that's gonna
want
be
it.
very close to the right to farm sign on Route
Right,
2.
right, you're right,
Yeah,
you're right.
I mean, we want to post them, but we don't want to have them running all over.
And
town.
and it may be too that we need to worry about whether or not it's on a state highway or
Yeah.
not, and so
Yeah.
maybe that.
So when you get in touch, and I mean, you two working together on that looks really,
Basically, we're looking at 4 signs, I
Right.
think.
Well, there's
Yeah.
one already over there, so
Okay, we might as well get a new one though.
yeah, get another one. No,
We want them to look all alike. Dave, do I? have the
thank
phone
you,
number?
Denise. That was on, that was on the
325.
Wait a
agenda for
moment, wait a
Denise.
moment, wait a moment, let me just look and see if I've got it here. Dave Sykes, you're not Dave Sykes.
Johnson.
How come I don't have you in here? I don't know.
Now, it
Yeah.
could be, we're whistling in the wind thinking we can put it on Route 2 and Route 5.
Right, but you'll find out when you get in touch with,
I know not a single person that works for the state. Even, I don't even
right,
know
but
what
they
the
will
state
know.
shed
They'll
is for Greenfield.
filter you through. They're
What's your
good.
phone number?
325,
413?
yes,
Good,
3,
okay.
325
325
80.
80
Oh,
Seven.
gosh, I wish the.
70. Is that a cell or?
Here, I'm.
It's on the
dying.
wall, miss, with a nice long cord.
So is mine, and I have a rotary dial.
Ooh, you can't really, you have trouble
Oh.
with extensions.
This phone moved with us when we moved
I'm-
37 years ago.
The official counter at the Bee Fest. Sandy, I think her last name is Thomas.
Mhm.
Yeah, I go to the second.
I'll get in
conference
touch
church,
with
You know, every once in
DPW.
a while,
I
or,
have no idea how easy
And,
it is to get. Janine would
so she
know.
was having people sign up.
Hey, you want my
Said,
phone
"No,
number?
Elizabeth, I've got this
I'll
job and
forget
no
it.
one
I won't
really
use it.
wants it, and
Okay.
we gotta keep account, we
Write
gotta,
it down.
she's got a clicker. So that we can know, because one of the beekeeping meetings, there was sort of a, well, we think we had maybe this many people. And I don't mind being the bean counter, because I understand
Bean counter.
the B
B-E-E,
counter, the
counter.
counter. I don't mind being the bean counter because I know that numbers are important. And I know if, like when I was writing grants, I had to document my need for what I was asking for.
Mhm, mhm.
And so numbers are important. It's important, you know, the last meeting we had, they talked a lot about, you know, different things they were going to do, the Beekeepers Association. And then Sandy talked more about it. I'm like, wow, this is going to be a big shindig, you know? So,
I just wanted to mention quickly too, I just noticed on the agenda that we did miss a roll call for the, to kind of kick the meeting off.
oh, the roll call.
I did note it in the notes. So.
You did, okay, so maybe as, you know, we could do that as chair at some point in the
Yeah.
meeting, just to.
Yeah,
Okay, I wrote down the names of the people who were here, but I didn't officially take a roll call.
I might be somebody else tonight.
Thank you.
Wait a minute. Roll call. Thank you, Janine.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Do it.
Perfect.
So
You want me to do it?
Yeah, you could just look.
Okay, here we go. I've never done a roll call before. How do you do a roll call officially?
Just call people's names and they say.
Denise Leonard,
Here.
Dave Johnson.
Here.
Greg Kootware,
Here.
and I, Elizabeth Nett, are here, and Keith Barnacle.
I'm here as.
Wonderful. Okay, let's put him down.
But I'm not, you know, I'm not a voting.
I know you're not. But you're here helping us. So here we go. It's the legality of the whole thing. Great. We've got the signs on the road. Blah, blah, blah. I have this big thing about educating the public. I think it's important to offer education to the public, and I don't know what anybody else, how anybody else feels about that. But I think it's nice, and I see it around. I see Greenfield doing a lot of it with their pollinator pathways and various things that they do. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on in this town. I know there is. Once the animal AOC gets in here, we'll hear about it. I mean, I got a couple of emails from my friend Monica down on Lamp Black Road, and stemming from her neighbors, these chicken questions, you know. So I would like, and I don't know how to go about doing this,
So this is education to the public for agricultural.
for
concerns?
specific agricultural things. So I would offer a workshop on chickens and chicken keeping, which would include the ordinance, the mass state law, and various other questions that may be had. And I would do it in a certain way.
You did that quite a few years ago. We had it at Greenfield Farmers,
See, that's what I was going to do.
and we had the Poulin representative come in and talk.
You had the who?
Poulin representative?
Oh, that's great. I was
Yeah.
just going to do an informal gathering
We
of
could do an informal gathering.
and I was thinking about doing this.
Probably had about a dozen people come.
See, that's good. That's good. Because word travels, because people don't know. One of my friend's problems was that she had neighbors that she was sure didn't know what the ordinances were and all this, that, the next.
Well, I was thinking about this when I was driving down here, and I wonder if it wouldn't be a bad idea to go through the ordinances in the town. Pull out the agricultural related ones,
Yes, yes,
maybe put them somewhere.
yes, yeah. There's a farm, it's the farm and agricultural, and it's right
Okay,
there.
is this part of the educational stuff that?
This
you
would be
wanna
a
do?
general
Probably
thing. Like when I think about
It would be-
ordinances, I think about Dave.
It would be more of a, maybe write it down and
Yeah.
pull it out and write it down so it's there and easy to find.
Yeah,
So it's a
you know,
different
starting-
subject.
First of all, you've got the-
Asking.
You've got
Yeah.
the Massachusetts state law, which states that if you have 5 or more acres, you're not covered under the town ordinances for the most part.
yeah, if, you know, and the ordinances always start. if you have less than 5 acres, and that's why they start that way.
Yeah.
But I know that I've read through all of them. And I think that's a really good idea, to compile them.
Yeah,
So that's what I think.
and that's something we can work on over the next few months.
And we can all put it together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think we have to be a little careful. I'm getting ahead of your order of operations here. I went down to CISA and I talked to Margaret Christie, and she's a very helpful lady. She's also a member of the Agricultural Committee in Hatfield.
Mhm.
And she's well versed in Whately, Hatfield, and Northampton. And her statement to me, I don't know how many times she repeated it. You're not enforcing the laws. You're merely acting as a between
right,
right.
to
right. We
get-
don't have any
get
authority.
any town member into where the rules and regulations are. Because if we think you can regulate sheep production, can't do
No,
it.
That wasn't actually my point. My
No.
point was
Yeah, yeah,
to pull the different, I mean,
The existing laws.
to pull the existing laws out.
Yep,
So
I know.
that they were in one place.
that's fine.
I know exactly, to have a list that
Should,
in a document,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, but it's not for us to make the rules.
No,
no,
we're not making rules. We have no authority.
Or to enforce the rules.
No.
No, we can't enforce the rules.
Nothing.
We
We
have
act
no
as a
authority.
between,
Yeah,
what was the deal was it goats or sheep up on High Street last fall?
2 sheep,
Two sheep.
but Eric asked me to go up there.
Okay, but my point is, if we could have said before it all hit the fan,
Right,
these are the regulations you've got to adjust to, and these are the abutters and whatever system, whatever you need to look at,
right.
that'll save you a headache.
Then that situation might have been avoided had there been us. And that's why if we have a document,
right, that's,
then we can, that's something, I mean, I'd never publish anything without the asking.
well, I was thinking it could go on the website, the town website.
Yeah, I mean, I would ask somebody to proofread it and all that other.
Right, right.
Which is what I'm thinking. So yes, absolutely. I think that's great.
Because I'm assuming they're all in different places.
Right.
And to pull it together makes.
What is it? Ecode 360, I think it is.
Yeah.
Ecode 360. Yeah, because I've been looking at that for some time and then I don't retain it. I have to go back. So that's good. And that's something that we could work on together. And I think the sooner we get that into a doc and publish, then in a way that people can get a hold of it and say, oh my goodness, I didn't realize that.
And the other
Because
thing,
they don't.
the other thing we have to make sure is as the town changes the ordinances, that we keep that updated.
Yes, yes, as the ordinances are changed, which is managed by the Planning and Zoning Board.
Some.
Remember when we did ordinance 1? Back in March or something?
Yeah, that was.
That was Eric who asked me to do that the next morning. And so then we met 2 days later and we did it.
There was a group who were actually dealing with ordinances when we went.
And there might be too, but I don't know. It just came.
When we did the right to farm bylaw.
Oh, okay. So that, I think this is a good doc to put together.
Yeah,
And I'm happy to do I'll throw my 2 cents in. I'll take care of the chickens. I know,
Are we going back to the education to public
yes, we are.
subject?
I'm sorry. He's being such a good clerk.
yeah, very good.
So I will take care of that one. So you don't have to worry about that.
I think we need to find the ordinances and look at
It's
them.
Ecode 360. If you pop in Ecode 360, okay. I know,
It's on the town,
yeah,
E-code.
Ecode 360, just pop it in. In fact,
And we'll-
in one website, you could start at Acushnet and go all the way down. You could look up every town. I know that there's no ordinances for beekeeping in Greenfield.
Not in the city, there are some state stuff.
Okay.
There's ordinances and then there's, which are, mostly about honey. And then there's suggestions by MDR for good beekeeping. But they're not really state ordinances or laws.
Right. Good to know.
Suggestions don't mean, no offense,
I know that, I know that.
they really
Yeah.
don't.
Everybody knows that, but
Yeah.
but you know, they have inspectors, they have state inspectors
Yeah.
to come out and say, hey,
Uh-huh.
this is what there are, like I said, there are some specific ones, but they're few and far between. There's
Yeah.
only like 4 of them that are hard and fast.
Yeah,
And,
so that if someone was concerned about someone who had beehives,
mhm.
you know, who could they, that's why it's so good to have an experienced beekeeper here.
There is nothing in state ordinances, suggestions, anything about where you can keep bees.
Yes,
Or
because
how
I've
you
read
keep-
some of them, like Long Meadows got one. And they've got certain regulations, you know, not so close, the sidewalks and this and that. I know bees are kept on rooftops
Yes.
and
especially
quite
in Boston.
successfully,
In Boston, they do a
quite
lot of that.
successfully on,
Yes.
because they've got a
They
beautiful.
do in New
climate.
York City too.
Yes, I think it's wonderful. So we've got this document that we want to put together. This is super important, and we'll all throw in our. At the next meeting, I'll come with my chicken regulations.
Well, there's already regulations on chickens that basically say
Right.
chickens, no roosters.
Right, right.
And I think, just let it sit like that, because if Denise was my abutter and she brought in a flock of guinea hens and they were waking me up at 5:15 every morning,
About 5:10. 5:10 would be fine, but.
That'd be okay.
That'd be okay.
you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I know what you.
And then if they're not, once they roost in the evening, there's no problem.
They could roost all over the place. That's the
Well, that's
problem.
the-
Yeah, they will too.
And they're roosting up in trees. But my point is, they can be noisy. Geese and ducks can be
And
noisy.
smell.
Well, the smell of manure is there as an issue. And the manure management, if it affects water or
Yeah,
streams or anything like that.
yeah, it's true. And that's why when we redid that ordinance for them, we kept it short and sweet.
What ordinance do the people at the senior center follow? And I'm just asking.
I do not know, but I know the name of the person who organizes it.
Well, that person may have may have already been informed of what the rules and regulations are and save us from reinventing it.
Well, I've met with him once.
Specifically for chickens is what you're,
Well, the chickens are what's at the senior center.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I know him. I've been in touch with him. I think he's a little gun shy, quite frankly, but it's, you know, it's fine. I could go over there. The people at the senior center that run the senior center either do not know or don't want to admit that they know. Because I went in to find out about a year ago.
You know where it is.
But anyway.
Senior center.
Yeah, right. It's-
Yeah,
Well, right behind it on, is it Davis Street?
I don't know what street it is,
It's Davis and there's
but they,
quite a few chickens there and they sell
They-
eggs and things.
yeah, they have a co-op going on here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have a little co-op going on and there's, what I wanted to say was, if you keep it short and sweet, this is what we did. We gave it to them short and sweet and they accepted it. And this is now the ordinance, the wording that we used. You can always go in. If you get somebody that's got 3.5 or so acres and desires to have, you know, a couple of more chickens or maybe a couple of goats, you can always go in and ask for a permit for that.
Right.
You can do that. So it's easier to start small and build.
or see what's already there.
Yeah, so that would necessitate, in my mind, that would necessitate getting a hold of, Eric, or whoever, but then them getting a hold of us, because we have to go see the environment. Like you and I, we could go see somebody's environment. What if they were asking for just a little bit more and kind of figure out, we're not telling people what to do.
I think that's actually under the purview of the Board of Health.
Do you think it's the Board of Health?
I think
To
so.
assess the environment?
They come and they do a barn check every year on my place.
If people want more, because somebody moves in, they've got 3 acres of land, they see the ordinance, 10 hens, that's it, they got their 10 hens. They're all settled in, they want to get a couple of Nigerian dwarf goats, they have enough room. Let's say their environment.
They still have to go to the Board of Health.
They're under
Oh,
five
the Board of
acres.
Health, not the permit.
Yeah, the Board.
Okay,
And
all
they
right.
have to my knowledge, they have to apply for a variance from.
No.
Yeah, they have to apply for a permit or a variance, but the Board of Health comes first. And then I always just put the name Eric down because I picture him and the commission, the
No,
council.
I think the Board of Health, because they're the ones that come out and do the farm.
Well, Jennifer Hoffman was the one that finally picked up those goats.
Oh, my
Well-
big suggestion is the fewer rules we think we're going to implant, put into effect, the
Right,
better off we are.
yes,
I
exactly.
agree.
And that could be the
Less.
killer if we're getting
Less,
a booklet that says
Yeah.
your 7 hens do meet it, but your 9 ducks
Yeah.
don't meet it.
yeah, that's why we made it short and sweet.
Well,
Kind of short circuits that whole idea of right to farm. And I know it's a broad statement.
Yeah.
A right to farm is only for the 5 acres.
I'm totally get that part.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, I
just
know what
saying,
you're saying.
it's just in the,
I would
You
get
see what I'm
livid when
trying to
people started telling me on my 24 acres what could and couldn't, what their interpretation
Yeah.
of what could and couldn't
They
happen.
can't.
Yeah,
And well, that doesn't mean
Right.
they're not trying. And that's why it's not up to us to be the referees.
we're here to support, to help, and to give
To give-
knowledge, to give knowledge.
Yeah.
Well, for instance, I have a guard dog. And the guard
Yes.
dog's out all night and he barks.
Yes,
Okay, so one of my neighbors who happened to build his house in the backyard of my pasture was complaining about it.
yes, yeah,
And he stopped complaining about the time that I was away and he called up at 11 o'clock at night thinking he was going to wake us up. And my husband was still awake and
yeah,
he apologized profusely, couldn't get the guard dog in and I wasn't there and usually I could get the guard dog in.
gosh.
And then quite a few years later, maybe 8 years ago, police showed up in our driveway. Is that your dog? Is it barking? Yep, it's our dog. It's barking. He's barking. He's barking for a reason. We have a right to have him. We have a right to have him out there barking. And the next day I went down and gave them everything that they needed.
Yeah,
I don't know who complained. I really don't care.
yeah, yeah, you know.
He's out in the pasture now. My electric fence is not working. He's out in the pasture. He keeps the coyotes out.
I got that, I get that.
Yeah. So that to me is where the Ag Commission can come in
Yeah,
and be sort of a go-between
yeah.
Mediator.
mediator. Yeah.
And that's why this collective body of knowledge that we have, the 4 of us, our experience, our lived experience, that's why I jump on chickens, 'cause I'm very comfortable with them, know what's going on. Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's why that doc we were talking about is just an education piece.
And
So-
so I think
Yeah.
the anti-barking thing is through the Board of Health.
Ah,
Yeah.
Or our friend, the,
I needed
Yeah.
that when I was up in Coleraine with the tree climbing.
That showed up.
Oh my God.
what's that? What must have been late at night then.
It was about 12:30 at
Yeah.
night.
Oh, that's
And
why
David
they-
said, well, I could go out there with a gun and shoot whatever's out there. if I wanted
Uh-huh.
to."
Yeah.
That-
Yeah, uh-huh, yeah.
That's basically saying the police do have no idea what farming is all about.
Well,
They really don't.
no, they don't.
it's very rare to find a police officer now with a rural background.
Right.
And that's why. Hi, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you since October.
For gathering. I'm Ginny, I'm the mayor.
Hi,
Hi.
Yes.
and I love your earrings.
Well, thank you. I got them from Plum. But anyways, thank you. I don't mean to interrupt. Hi, this is Mimi.
Mimi's getting an earful, I'm sure.
I just wanted to come in and say thank you. I don't know that I know everybody's name though.
I'm Greg.
Greg.
This is Greg. Greg is the experienced beekeeper.
Very good.
Super excited to have him
Okay,
here.
all right.
I'm Denise Leonard. I've been on the commission before.
Denise, okay.
David Johnson.
And it's nice to have the mayor come in here.
Yes, isn't it lovely?
The past mayor that was here, whom his name shall remain nameless.
Yes.
And
The pronoun might have helped you figure it out.
yeah, that's why.
I got it. I'm like a rock star.
Cheers.
Thank you all for your service.
Thank you, Jenny. We appreciate it. So we're gonna go, okay, so I'm all for the doc. It's education. It can be, go through whoever ever has to
Right.
check it out before we publish it. And I think it's a fabulous thing to have out there.
Well, I think it's a good idea to,
I moved here, I had 20 chickens I took in my backyard. I didn't know any different.
right. I
That's
can't even
right.
count the number of chickens.
20 I mean, I had 20 give or take, what? Because it was a big rescue I was helping with
Mhm.
the guy that was running the co-op.
Mhm.
So I didn't know, but this is what I want to do. I'm just about the same thing. I want to do an open to the public, if you're interested in chickens. Of course, we've got the very easy ordinance to deal with. If you want,
And different animal care
yeah.
education things might be.
Yeah, so if I did what I do best, if everybody does what they do best, then everything gets done well. The importance of not letting your chickens free range all over the place, for which I'm sure the dog officer got a lot of complaints.
There is electric fence and they sell it at Greenfield Farmers.
Well, I'm gonna put myself over at Tractor Supply for this one, I think, because I'm comfortable with Tractor Supply.
I don't want to support them.
Yeah, I'm not really supporting them. I'm just going to have the people over there because I have a place where I can meet. And we can look at different things, fences.
My problem with Tractor Supply is the people in there really don't know anything. They're in there selling stuff. They can't advise you.
Right.
Greenfield Farmers, the people there are wonderful. They're really well educated. You go in and ask a question about something, you get an answer. And it's a reasonable answer.
Okay, I
Don't
never
know
go
they
there.
Actually tell you. They'll actually tell you.
Yes, they will.
Because I know the bee people over there and I know the people that aren't bee people because they
Well,
told
we
me,
can
"Hey, I
meet-
don't know anything about
I
bees."
can meet there with them. Just because I never go there doesn't mean that I can't go there and have a
And
store.
Tractor Supply brings these chicks in. all the
I know what they
time.
do.
There.
I've been going there for 5 years. Well, that's where I go. I don't go to the other side of town.
Well, that's my problem. I'm at this side of town.
Yeah, I know, but I only had rabbits. All I had was rabbits and chickens.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I mean, if you guys would think that would be better, that's
Library might be a good.
I don't want to do the library.
Okay,
I'm not doing the library. Thank you very much anyway. I want to do it outside, have a little meeting out, with people outside, and then be able to go and actually look at things, actually look at feed.
well, I would not be supporting the feed they sell over there. It's not good feed
Where?
at Tractor Supply.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm saying. And if you see, I call it Agway, Greenfield Co-op as being a better place, then I'll find a place that we can easily meet and
Just go in
gather.
and I could go in and talk to Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I can.
Yeah, he's really nice. Every time I walk in there and see him,
Yeah,
I give him a hug.
I'm sure it'll be fine. I'll just tell him who I am. And I won't have that big of a crowd. And we'll do our conversation.
Don't mention my name because
outside.
then he'll say, oh, I'm sorry, you know her.
And we'll just do our conversation outside and then we'll go.
Yeah.
So that's what I was
He
thinking.
does have meeting rooms upstairs too.
Huh?
That's meeting rooms he has upstairs.
Yes, they do.
Oh,
Oh, in Greenfield Farmers, yeah. So
oh, All right, so I'm going, oh, how good. So I'm gonna go to.
That's where we had the chicken thing. the
So
last-
I'm gonna do that and then I'll let you know at the next meeting, blah, 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 and I'll ask anybody I have to ask for permission to do it or publicize it.
Yeah.
Because I can't just go on it on the Greenfield website and go, hey. All right, so I'll go there.
Another way to get to this, not around it. Whoever the grain salesman is who delivers to Pula probably knows more about the rules and regulations.
He's from Vermont. Who's a Vermont company?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
But Poulin Grain does come out of northern Vermont anyways.
right.
But that
Meeting
salesman,
room sounds austere.
I don't know if I.
I don't understand it.
It's
Poulin,
a brand.
okay, there's different brands. Agway has its own brand.
Oh,
Poulin,
okay. Now I understand. I was hearing the word wrong. And I didn't realize it was a name. Okay, I know.
Poulin
Yeah.
delivers
Yeah.
I've used that feed for my chickens too.
probably 50 different varieties of grain. And
For all livestock.
Yeah.
yeah, I even think they get into the dog and cat business.
They do, yeah. So that's where I'll go. I'll come back at the next meeting and I'll have something that we can toss around and make happen. And we could, be nice if we could get our other document together too. I don't know, I'll have to go to Ecode 360, really look at it carefully and see how involved it is. It might take us a couple of months for that.
Yeah, is that city ordinances or is that state ordinance?
That's Ecode 360 is not city, it's when you pop it in, what you'll see is Greenfield. You'll see Greenfield, but you'll also see a listing of all the towns in Massachusetts. Every town in Massachusetts has that Ecode 360. So you go Ecode 360, Greenfield.
Is CODE?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Ecode.
CODE.
Ecode, I don't know what he stands for.
Electronic.
Electric fence.
Electronic,
Oh.
it's like email, E-code.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking about electric fences. So
At
what's
least I
the guy's
assume that's what
name
it's-
at the co-op, the nice guy?
Jeff,
Jeff.
Okay. So let me go introduce myself to Jeff
he's the manager.
and we will do that. So I thought it would be so interesting if, especially with the Bee Fest coming up and people are sort of infused with this,
Mhm.
I
if,
think of beekeeping.
just a general beekeeping thing, like you should hear this guy talk.
And as we discussed before, Liz, I would be more than happy to do that.
Oh, that would be fabulous.
Probably, I mean, what's the, I guess the goal is to get more people into beekeeping or,
Just to
well,
give them
what's our goal there
knowledge,
for that?
give them knowledge,
Give them knowledge.
give them
Because, so
knowledge.
that,
And then the ones that want to do more, they're gonna come to you, hey, I'd like to. And some people like me would be, okay, I'm gonna save the dandelions. I just saved a whole green
I did.
space of dandelions
no
from the
mow May,
mowers.
no mow May.
That's right. I said to my friend, my neighbor has a landscaping company that in the sun now owns, and it's a right of way, and it's right beside my driveway. And there's this long green, it's this long narrow thing. And I came out and I'm like, oh, dandelions. Because the last meeting I went to,
They're the very
they
best for these.
talked about dandelions. So they were coming over with their mowers and I had like this table, this metal table that I could pick up. I picked it up and I put it down. I said, this is city property. Do not mow these dandelions down. I know his name's Jeremiah,
Today.
when they're gone by, they're gone by, but I learned that at the beekeepers meeting.
It's a very early nectar source for bees. So
They were up on my snowdrops this spring.
The bumblebees are on the dandelions.
bumblebees actually gather nectar from more sources than honeybees do, but yeah, Bumblebees go to a lot of different.
Yeah, I noticed a
Flowers.
lot of bumblebee. I was out mowing a little bit of my, I know it's no mow May. I was out mowing little paths through my mint that was growing. And there was this one bumblebee and I swear he was chasing that mower around. It's got a battery in it. It's not like a big, conking thing that I've got. I'm going around. And he's like, get off of my, it was so hysterical. Followed me all the way back to the garage. It was fun. He didn't go after me. He was just, get out of my territory.
They don't make hives. Are they solitary?
They are somewhat, they do congregate in the winter, but not like honeybees.
Yeah.
Honeybees, you'll get 60 to 100,000
Yeah.
individuals in a colony.
Gosh. When those honeybees come out and hit your pollinator patch, I went out one morning a couple of years ago and I'm like, oh, everything looks blurry. I didn't have my glasses on. Oh, it looks kind of blurry. I didn't have a good night's sleep. I'm like, everything's moving. Oh my gosh, better have another cup of coffee. I looked and I went, oh my gosh, I have never seen so. And they came from my neighbor's hives immediately over to my flowers because I had a pollinator garden, and they were just.
Yeah, I sent text.
I'm fascinated with bees. Okay, never
Dave
mind. The
mentioned this
meeting
is
has
that,
to finish.
Trying to keep honeybees in any general area is impossible. They're not really domesticated animals that you can pen up. They go and do their own thing.
But I will text my neighbors and say, your bees are over here and it's wonderful.
And
Send pictures of them, buzzing all over.
Our neighborhood, our neighbors are really appreciative because it's been years before since anybody had honeybees over there, and they really had not much luck with any of their fruit trees or their gardens and everything else. But since I've been there, they've been enjoying tremendous
Yes.
crops.
so I'll do, my thing and you can form yours the way you want to, whatever's comfortable for you. I'll take your advice and I'll go over to the farmers co-op to do this. And
They're
I
a
will
local
be.
business too. Tractor Supply is not.
I'll let you break the ground over there, and then after you're done, I'll.
Okay. Wherever you want, but I'm going to your little workshop or educational gathering, whatever you want to
So
call
in a
it.
couple weeks, yeah.
Really interested. I'm super interested in bees because before he came on board, Janine sent me an email about a month ago. Oh, Greg Cootware came in and he's going to be on the commission and blah, blah, blah. And I went, oh, good. Because man, does he know it. And there's so much. So good. What else do we have? Oh, here we go.
I don't know.
Dave has been doing a really good job with CISA, looking into all that stuff and making sense of that.
CISA, I went down, like I told you, it's Margaret Christie, and
Is Devon Whitney still there? Or did she leave?
I was lucky to find anyone there that day.
Oh, okay.
And
How
this
many
lady came
times
out,
did
which
you
she
go down?
had a ton of information for me, and she mailed it all to me, and the point she made over and over again, you're not making the laws. Don't overkill your number of meetings. Don't think you have to solve all the problems. Let it come to you a little bit, and then just act as an advocate for that person. She also made a point that I thought was, at first, it was perfect based on the conflict of interest. If I have a friend who wants to have goats, it could look like a conflict of interest if I'm pushing to get them a variation.
Right.
Right.
Let someone else on the commission do it. And that could be any part of it. If you're too close to it, make a look, give yourself an escape route, if you will.
Yeah.
So you don't get caught with the looking
Yeah.
like,
Honey on your hands.
Truth
And the
is,
Ds.
yeah,
I'm
and that-
glad you joined us.
it makes perfect sense if you think about it.
Yeah,
And she was saying that their background in Whately and Hatfield, I don't know about in Northampton. They were meeting on a monthly basis. And they were doing too much. What are we gonna make our agenda about this month? Whereas if we meet every other month. And
I'm all
she,
for that.
and she even
Yeah.
said one of the towns meet quarterly. And I can see, she was a very perceptive lady
Mhm.
and what she was really saying was, you may need to meet in April and June. You may not need to meet more than October and then wait until next April. If nothing is on the agenda, and as we look around, is there really going to be a lot of agriculture going on here? November, December, January, February, even into March,
right.
as far as new agriculture.
Right.
And,
Well, I
and
don't know, I'm lambing in March, but
Well, you're busy.
yours is a year-round business.
Yeah.
It's not as though, how many people are going to go into the sheep business starting out in January?
no, you're right. And,
That-
and when I
that's-
sell freezer lambs, they won't go until the beginning of
Right.
June.
Yeah,
'Cause-
And that's once you understand the cycle,
Yeah, October, I put my bees away.
yeah. And
I don't
Yeah.
touch them again. I don't ever get into them again until April.
my farm business at the Halloween was the date I chose, the end of October.
Mhm.
And it really didn't start to heat up until the end of March.
yeah,
I mean, I could have been out there in the garage working on equipment and moving livestock around. Why?
yeah.
It wasn't gonna move.
Training my dogs.
Well,
You're training your dog.
that's a choice you make, Denise. But she was very clear on don't try to overkill it.
I think that when we did it before, we didn't meet in the summer in part because if you're farming,
You're busy.
that's hard.
Yeah, as long as we're available. And the other thing
And
I
I think
had
that's
on,
really important is that
the other thing I had on the agenda thing here was, which one? Oh, number 4, informing the city of Greenfield that we're up, we're running, we're available.
Okay,
Okay,
I'm just gonna
Which-
add that the few times that we've been asked to do things in the past, we've been totally ignored.
you've been told what?
We've been ignored.
Oh, well, we have a
had
we have a
meetings and
new
gone in and discussed
administration
things,
here and we have a new, yeah, we can,
but that was with the zoning. I
yeah,
can't remember
that's,
what it was.
yeah.
That was when
You see,
they,
This hasn't, yeah, this body hasn't convened in a while, and I just did confirm everything's listed correctly on the website for the commission, so
yeah,
I'm listed as the staff
yeah.
liaison for folks.
So we're, to let people know, and I thought if we did these, little public opportunities, educational opportunities or gatherings, and appropriately, I'm not going to publish anything on a website or, everything Greenfield, oh God, everything Greenfield, get rid of that one. But how I would inform the public.
That may,
That would be my question.
It would, yeah, there would never be any communications from a volunteer board or commission in the city outside of the scope of the city. So we would not advocate for or endorse in any way, any kind of social media.
Okay, so-
So yeah, you would work with us, you would work with the city to put together
does the
communications.
city have a Facebook page?
We do, yeah.
Just, yeah,
Can you
Yeah.
put stuff on that?
okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
Because,
Am I on that?
and the commission has a website on the city's page.
Right.
So we could share information there as well.
okay,
But yeah, we do not operate, members of volunteer boards and commissions do not operate in the social media sphere.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
getting at here.
Yeah,
would it be wise to get another meeting or two under our belt before we sort of spread the word?
I was-
Right now, we don't have any semblance of organization on what we're really gonna do, where we're gonna get our information from. And if someone were to say, okay, you've met now, what's the solution for 3 goats? We haven't done that yet.
I think there's never a solution for grief.
Right,
It's great.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the part of our job, the commission sort of wound down several times when I was on it. And I met with, Bob Sager was on it for quite a while. I met with him and somebody was from Mount Grace. They were doing something about the land and trying to get it into the Mount Grace thing. And both of us felt like it was important to get the commission going again.
Yeah.
Because people get their food at the grocery store. They don't understand the whole process,
Yeah,
how it comes about. And I feel like the farmers need some protection,
yeah,
you know, so they don't get
yeah.
the police showing up in their driveway at 12:30 at night because their guard dog is chasing off coyotes.
Yeah, and I just think that public awareness,
Yeah.
I think that public awareness is so important. And I think that a lot of these
Helps with
things.
that a lot too.
Huh?
CISA helps,
CISA.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think that if people, in their own community had a little, offering, oh, beads, like I'd love to go to that.
The other place that might be
Because
good to
people-
do things is at Greenfield's Market.
Greenfield Spark, yeah, I could do that. I think more in terms of when I think of chickens and all that, I think more in terms of like the co-op, as you suggest, it's a better place. Because I could go in and we can take a look at food, all the starter food and, this, and that, and we can take a look at the housing. We can take a look at some fencing, things like that. We want to take a look at this stuff.
Mhm.
Just browse around and take a look and maybe it goes from there with 1 or 2 people and the other people say, well, that was interesting. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened the last time.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. The same thing with the bees. Some people are going to be, oh, that's so interesting, blah, blah, blah. Some other people, a couple people are going to say, you know what? I've been thinking about this for a while. Can you guide me?
Mhm.
Because you should see Meridian where he lives. I'm telling you, bees are floating all over the place up there. It's beautiful. It's really nice. And, that's what we got to have because we need bees. We need plants to feed our animals. And we need our dogs to keep our animals safe. That's their job.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that, And as far as the roosters go, well, we'll have to deal with them later.
Well, there's nothing to deal with. They just can't be allowed in.
Well, right now, the ordinance says we can have no roosters in Greenfield if you have less than 5 acres. That's it. And that's what it said.
I'm not gonna tell my neighbors across.
We're not going to talk about it. No. No, I am, I understand the ordinance and that's why we kept it short and sweet. All right, so I understand that I've learned some things tonight. I've got them written down. I've got this guy. I can do another agenda based a little more on what Janine gave me, roll call. We were so informal. We met
Good though.
for a year, the 3 of us, and I think that was it. And we just came, over the summer, we didn't. Because frankly, I had other things more important to work on. If I didn't get those worked on, this would be. So that's what we did. And we met and I got a notebook here of stuff. So, yeah, so this is
I'd
good.
like to meet again next month, sounds like.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
So we're talking about the 5th of June, same time?
yeah, same time, same place. Who posts that on the website?
You'd have to get information including an agenda to meet and I can work on getting that.
Okay, so thank you very much. That's really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll get the agenda to you. Okay, the agenda, just following up on it. And I usually, what I do is I throw agendas up. I don't have your email.
Okay.
Okay, because what I like to do is copy all you guys and tell me,
Yeah, that's good.
and then change it for me. So,
I'd like to get everybody's. Yeah, that's your,
Just a note about communicating, so you have to be careful about open meeting law and communicating electronically. And any communications cannot constitute a quorum of the body. So for example, you could email me directly if you want me to share information
okay,
with folks, but yeah, so say if you were to, if you were to email the entire group, that would constitute, a quorum and just an official discussion of this body, so. I'm
That's
looking up
right.
the cards right now, so.
That's right. The open, yes, I read it in the open meeting law.
I mean, we can't just send.
I can send the agenda to Keith.
But you can't send it to us.
I can't send it to them. He's gone. Well, we weren't an official body before, so it's. Because
There are
that's what I
really
usually
good
do, is I
reasons for
usually
it, there
ask you
really are.
guys to, is this what you meant, or is this what,
No, but it seems to me that if we're gonna develop an agenda, it should.
yeah, let's
From
make
the
sure we do
meeting.
it right.
Yeah, here's my contact.
All right, good.
Yep,
Let's make sure we do it right. Now, I'm gonna do an agenda. I just talked about getting in touch with the other people so they could take a look at it and see what they thought, if they wanted to change or edit anything.
yep,
I
Is that
cannot
okay?
do that.
no, that would constitute a.
I cannot do that.
But she could send out an email that says, our meeting's coming up, what do you want on the agenda?
Yeah, you could send any agenda items to me. We could have folks send them to me or reach out to the mayor's office to add, or independent folks could reach out to the chair you could at any time, as independent members of this body, reach out to the chair and share agenda items for the next upcoming. meeting.
Okay, so you
So
all,
the agenda
I
stuff
get
has to
it.
go through you,
I understand
Yeah,
that.
yeah, or just directly to the chair.
It's-
or to the chair.
Yep,
we just
Okay.
can as a group
Yeah, I just can't
discuss
group
things
you out.
outside of.
Right.
yeah.
Well,
And then we get the agenda squared away, get it brief, get it concise.
Yep. And then we'll get it posted. Yep, and it has to
But
have
she
that,
can ask if we want to add things to the agenda, but she can't distribute the agenda.
Right.
right, and then we could post the.
Yeah, I can just get, hey Denise, what do you think about this? I've done that before.
Right. Right,
Okay,
okay.
all right. Okay. Good enough.
We just need a motion to.
I so moved.
I can't.
You can't,
I can't make it.
move it until it's on the table, lady.
It's on the table. So move to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you.
I second that.
Okay.
Okay, we're getting
And then a
there.
vote, and then a vote.
Oh,
Aye.
Aye.